Hey, Natsu here. Today I'm going to do part part 6 of What If Deku Had the Omnitrix. Someone told me directly at my school that I never said if Aizawa tried or didn't try to stop Izuku from using his transformations. I'm going to say it right now. He tried multiple times until he decided to think. So it's a mutation that's on his arm, and I can stop it since all it does is actually focus something to make him transform. So even if I press the, I'm using my quirk. If he presses the button, it won't change a thing because the watch is the mutation, and the transformations are just an after effect that can't be erased. So basically, that's how he thinks and how he told everyone else that it probably works. So, yeah, that's basically that for that part. So, in the last part, Deku got Cannon Bolt, Wrath, and Humongousaur. One from fighting Stain, one that he didn't know how it happened, he just had it, but in fact it was because someone dropped some of his blood on it, and his quirk was basically tiger, so it basically gave him the transformation that was closest to that DNA, if we don't count human. So yeah, and Humongousaur was, while he was fighting All Might, switching over and over again, and suddenly he just kind of used it because he wanted to be bigger. So, yeah. So now they're leaving for the training camp. Basically, everyone that had won in the anime won again. Everyone that lost, lost. Yes, even Kirishima, even though he has all for one. No, one for all. Which, yes, does boost his power, speed, and everything. But the problem is that in the anime they weren't even able to advance. In fact, they were even getting pushed back by Cementos to a point that even with One for All, they were able to advance this time. But they weren't able to beat Cementos in time. That's basically it. Since they were on one side of the place where they were fighting, Cementos was literally in front of the door on the other side, and he was pushing cement and whatever right in front of them from all the way on the other side. So, yeah, even if they were advancing, they didn't get there fast enough. Okay, so just like in the anime, Momonoa and well, comes to insult them before they go in the bus. Deku and Tsuyu decided to sit together because I'm shipping them together. It's basically what the training before the sport festival kind of did at first. During the 2 weeks, she kind of started liking him and he started liking her. Neither of them told it because, well, Deku's literally immune to someone trying to tell him that he is liked by them. So yeah, so before going to the sport festival, not to the sport festival, but to the forest training camp, they go um to the mall. Yeah, sorry, my brain literally kind of blocked out for a second. Um, so yeah, they go shopping, just like in the anime. Um, Shigaraki goes to attack Deku. The difference is that this time, when he goes to even grab him, the omnitrix automatically senses a problem, and in the middle of everyone, he just transformed into Diamond Head, which Deku knows that if he transforms to this form, it's that something's attacking him. So basically, he turned around to what attacked him, and he saw the face of Shigaraki, and just kind of pushed him away. Then everyone, back up, he's a villain. And basically, he yelled that out, and some people called the pros and police, and Shigaraki literally got stressed by that because the kid he was going to attack literally changed to something he couldn't do anything against since, yeah. In the anime, he uses crystals while in that form to stop Shigaraki from, not in the anime, but in the USJ, I mean. He used the crystal from this guy to stop Shigaraki from destroying Tsuyu and Mineta. So Shigaraki knew exactly that he couldn't do anything to that form. Then before any pros arrived, he went away with the portal guy. His name is I don't remember. Well, the portal guy took him out of there. Stuff happened. The hero told him it wasn't a good idea. He, even if he was in danger, it's not a good thing to use his quirk in public. Then he tells them that when he's in danger, his quirk activates on its own, just to protect him. So it's not really his fault, since it's literally like his quirk makes sure that no matter what happens, he stays alive. So yeah, they get it, and sorry about that. I don't know where it came from. So yeah, then after that, the teacher told him that at least he stopped Shigaraki from doing anything bad, since with his power he could have directly destroyed the entire place. So yeah, then afterward, I think it was the next day or the day after that, they start going to the camp, like I said before, to you and the Kusets together. Just like in the anime, Bakugo and Kirishima got their friendship going on. You didn't see it, but I made the sign of, wait a sec. Okay, yeah, sorry, I had to pause for a sec, so, yeah, Bakugo and Kirishima have the same thing going on as the anime. So, after a while, they arrived to the The stop where the place where they stopped before being thrown off the cliff by one of the pussycats. So when they get off, Aizawa tells Deku to come with him for a bit. He brings him to the side, and then not Mandalay, but the other one. After everyone kind of just sees them and that Deku starts saying something, someone says a comment. No, Aizawa tell them, okay, everyone, the camp is back there, and you're going to have that much time to get there. Everyone just kind of gets what's happening, tries to go back, and get everyone except Deku get pushed down. Because Aizawa told him to come with him for a bit, to the side next to Mandalay. Deku asked why he did that, and then he said, because no matter what we do, even if we push you down and tells you that you only, even if I tells you you only get one of your transformation, you're probably going to destroy the hell out of this forest. He says, well, I have two transformation that no matter what it is in there would probably didn't work since my Galvan form, my Galvanic Mechamorph form, and my it's called Ditto, but I keep forgetting the name of the species. But yeah, he says that one too. They aren't really meant for fighting or stuff like that. He said yes, but we both know you never go for that one, for those ones. He says true. So basically, he looks down, tells them what they have to do, and says Izuku won't be with you for this because if he goes down with you, you won't even have to do anything. So he's coming with us. So then they enter the car and start going for the camp. So he meets Koda previously to everything, and while they're waiting at the camp, the others are doing it better since all of them tried to be better since they saw how Deku is basically a freaking powerhouse with 16 forms. So yeah. While him and the pussycats are waiting, Mandalay asks him, so you have a transformation quirk that works with that watch? Which he says yes. Then she asks if it's an accessory or... Then Deku explained that it's actually because he was attacked by a villain. He's saying that in front of Koda just to say. And that before being attacked he was deemed quirkless. But when he was attacked he kind of just got engulfed in flames. And when he untransformed from that he had the watch on. So his quirk basically manifested, transformed him into something, and then turned back. Then when he turned back it became that. So okay, so Pixie Bob asks him if they can see some of his transformations, which the first thing he does is turn into Wrath, which basically makes both of them kind of amazed, and they're like, so you can basically become a cat. You would be perfect for our hero team. Aizawa told us you had a time limit, but how long is it? Which Deku then says, I don't really know. At first it was 10 minutes, then after playing with it for a while, it became about an hour, And it did that a second time. I don't know how long I have now. Which they then say, okay, so when you're in your transformation, if you train them, do they keep that training, or then Deku says, no, not really. They turned back into what they were. All I can do is train reflexes and find new things about them. So basically, Mandalay says, so all we can do is train your normal body, and you can play with your watch to try and get new forms or more time. Yes, I'm basically going to make him play with it for like half the day and the other half training his own body with Tiger. So yeah, you're gonna see what's going to happen, but yeah. So after that, for a while, um, when the other arrived like 10 minutes earlier than before. Yes, it's not a lot, but no, not 10 minutes, about 30 minutes earlier than before. So, just like in the anime, they tell them, okay, so for today you have food, but after that you're going to have to cook it yourself. Then Pixie Bobs do just the same thing, and Marks Ida, Shoto, Bakugo, and Deku. And he's like, and she's like, those one are my kittens. So yeah. Then Ida asks who's Koda, which Deku just says, well, they're keeping him. He's the nephew of Mandalay, which Ida's like, oh, okay. I thought he was one of their kids, and automatically Pixie Bob jump on him, like, I'm not old enough to have kids. When I think she's actually 40 or something, if not 30, but she's kind of old a bit. So yeah. So Deku during the time showed them all of his transformation. They also found out that he has about 2 hours, since he explained to them that if he changed multiple times, he basically take out some of his time depending on how he changes. So yeah, basically it's more that he used all of his transformation, then waited 10 minutes and transformed into one and just waited. So that when the 10-minute countdown finished, all of that in the time was back. So yeah, they know it's 2 hours and they just told him, so yeah, basically what you do is you continue playing with the watch until or you unlock new transformations or you unlock more time. But basically all we want you to do is do that and train your normal body. So just like in the anime, they train, class 1B arrives, they see the training, and basically they're looking around and then they just see Deku sitting and playing with the watch. Then Momonoa asks, so what is he doing? Just sitting around doing nothing? Which Deku basically looks up, press the omnitrix, switch to transform and says, do you want to say that again? Looking at him. And Momonoa has just basically shut it. And then the girl that can augment her hands basically slapped him. So yeah. Um During the training he basically unlocked two new forms and he can he had time limit augmentation. So about 4 hours or 5 hours. No, I would just say four for now. And the two transformation he unlocked were Wildvine and Artiguana. Artiguana is basically a lizard on four legs that is giant, well not giant but big, and that can send freezing cold air from his mouth or freeze things that he's touching. And Wildvine is basically a plant that can regenerate any part of it as long as it's still partially there. He can control plants, fuse with plants, change color to blend in with what's behind him. He has seed on his back that can basically explode. And yeah, so he unlocked those two transformation, which would bring him to 18. I was only going to give him Artiguana, but I decided to change a bit of things later for something, and he's going to need that transformation to Wildvine, so I kind of have to give him at some point. So I'm giving him now. Anyway, he's going to start getting aliens a lot faster. He's going to see it too. And he's going to unlock a very powerful transformation. If not later in this video, probably at the start or middle of the next. But I'm pretty sure it's going to be in this one. You're going to see it later. I would, if I finish the video and it's not there yet, I'm going to ask you to try and see if you know it if you can guess which one it is by placing it in the comment section. So yeah, let's continue. On the last night, they do the same thing with scare event. So then, just like in the anime, every team is the same. Then they see Deku's alone. Pixie Bob is about to say sorry about that, and Deku just transforms into Ditto and separates him to make two. And he's like, I'm okay. I'm never alone. When well, the name of that transformation. So basically, she laughs a bit because, like, seriously, out of nowhere, like they're going to apologize, and he just transforms it to something that makes two of him. Then he transforms. The game starts, and later they get attacked. In this one, Deku saw the sword saw Mandalay starting to be um, pulled. So he transformed, not Mandalay, but Pixie Bob. So he transforms into his Kineceleran, accelerates, grabs her, brings her back to Tiger, which Tiger then start holding on to, and he goes back and literally takes down the two that are hidden in the forest. So that doesn't happen. Pixie Bob's okay, and then Mandalay asks, "Where's Koda?" Which Deku basically says, "I'll go take him," and runs off. And um, Muscular doesn't even have time to get to Koda, and Deku's already next to him. No, Muscular arrives before, but Deku basically takes him at the last second. Muscular sees him and says, "Oh, you're the transformation kid. I was asked to kill you no matter what if I see you. But before that, do you know where the kid Bakugo is going to is right now? We're looking for him." Which kind of makes Deku scared a bit. Then Muscular goes to attack him, while Deku's kind of not looking. And the second Muscular hits him, he's basically met with a freaking skills as hard as rock, which doesn't hurt Muscular, but Deku doesn't really move. Then Deku goes up, starting to stand up, holding Koda in one of his hands, and looking at Muscular from above. He turned into Humongosaur, and Muscular says, they didn't tell me about that, since they did keep, like I said, for a while until before Deku got back to his school, well, to UA, he was observed by people to know every transformation he had. So basically, that transformation and the two new he unlocked are unknown to them. So basically, Muscular's like, "You look big, but are you tough?" And then just gets hit by a tail and gets squashed on the face of the rocks. He starts getting back up when Deku grow in size and power, and Muscular says, "Oh, shit," and just get punched. Muscular's out for the count, like, for the rest of the time. He's not going to wake up or something before, like, a few days, probably. That hit really was strong. So basically, from up there, Deku saw everything that was happening, turned into Kineceleran, and basically got Koda back to camp, and then got everyone back. The only one he had trouble with was Tokoyami, but he transformed into Heat Blast, created light, and then took him back. So basically, he saved everyone, took back everyone to the camp. Momo had time to put the tracker on one of the Nomus. When the villains saw that everyone was just not there anymore, they basically started looking more and then took everyone back. And that does count in the two guys that Deku knocked out at first, Spinner and the other dude. So yeah. Later, they are they're meeting at the hospital for to help everyone see if they're hurt and stuff. And while they're talking, someone comes in. Well, two people. It's basically a police officer and All Might. They ask Deku, "Can you come with us, please? We have to talk to you." Deku follows them, and then he is brought in to the place where every hero that were called to do the raid were. So every hero there knows that Deku was able to beat All Might at his strongest. They saw it on camera for those that were watching, and the others were told by them that, yeah, the kid is strong. So when they arrive, let's say one hero didn't hear about that and said, "Why would a kid be brought here? He's just a first year." And then someone tells him, "Because that kid, like you say, is stronger than All Might. So if you want to do this, it would be a good idea to have two powerhouse on our hands that are capable of going places extremely fast." Since, if I remember correctly, the where Shigaraki was and the Nomu factory are really far apart, and um, All Might was able to get there in like a minute or so only. It was fast, but everyone else took a good while to get there. So yeah, um, so they go for the raid, and All Might tells Deku, if anything, he tells Deku, "I want you to go with the team to go buzz the Nomu hideout, and I want you to eat all of them with your garment form." So Deku's already going to be where All for One is. So basically, they arrive there, they buzz the Nomus, while All Might and the others busts Shigaraki. When they try to take the Nomu, it doesn't happen because, well, they're all being digested in the universe that is a gourmand stomach. So yeah. Then not long after, Shigaraki's team start getting a weird goo from their mouth, and at the Nomu's factory, there's a massive explosion. I have to pause. Sorry about that. I had someone ask me to do something. Well, basically, they just asked me to tell them something, so I had to talk to them. Didn't take long. So, yeah, the explosion happened. Then they saw All for One. Um, Best Genius tried to attack him. He was about to get blown away when suddenly All for One was literally punched by something he didn't even see coming. Basically, it was Deku, using his Caliceleran form, ran around him, jumped, switched to forearm, and basically punched him with two of his arm at once, which basically threw him away far enough so that he didn't kill or tried to kill Best Genius. So not long after that, All Might arrived, and All for One said, "So, I guess you have found a successor." Since there's no one for Shigaraki and the others to kind of keep away, he tells them to go after and once they're starting to leave, All for One tells them also, "You know Shigaraki? He's Nana's grandson." Which All Might basically kind of loses it a bit. And then All for One goes to punch him, which Deku basically stops. Like, no, you're not doing any of that. All for One then says, "Okay then, a 2-on-1. I don't like these odds, but it's still good." Since All Might in this one gave All for One earlier, and both him, no, and in comparison, All Might didn't use as much of it during the school time, but he trained with both Deku and Kirishima for so long that basically he's worse than what he was at that point in the anime. So basically both him and Deku knows that he's already almost done with it. It's almost gone, so he says, he sees a camera, grabs it, and says, "Everyone, this is going to be my last battle. I am going to retire after this. But before retiring, I want to show you something. The young ones, the next generation, they are strong and capable. I have chosen multiple new symbols of peace." No, he says there are more symbols of peace coming. There are already some that are heroes. This is one of them. His name is Deku, the transformation hero. He is stronger than me. Like, literally, he's saying it outright at the camera, telling everyone that that kid can beat him. All for One, intrigued, says, "Wait, that kid's stronger than you?" And then All Might puts the camera down and says, "Let's go, Izuku. Let's fight him for my last battle." And they go at it. For a bit, Izuku has to change from flying aliens back to hitter, back to aliens that can fly, just because, well, All for One basically floats around most of the time. And when he's on the ground, well, he gets basically hit by two freaking arms at once that are packing a punch about the same as All Might's, well, just under the strength of the United States of Smash. So, All for One is getting pummeled, But since he knew that about Deku from Shigaraki, he stacked up on multiple quirks. In the anime, he was strong, but this time he didn't want to take any way of losing, since just in the anime he was sure he was going to win anyway, and for the small percentage of chances that he loses, he had already chosen to pass stuff to Shigaraki. So yeah, in this one he's stronger, faster, and has multiple more quirks that are basically made to kill All Might and Deku. Firstly, one of the quirks he has is a shock notification quirk, a shock absorption quirk. I mean, that was stronger than the Nomu's. So, like, he found that and decided to take it. And um, found multiple strength quirks, other things like that, and took them because he knew that this kid was probably going to beat him if he's there, and that he doesn't have that. So they start fighting, literally all out, and for a while Deku is not overwhelmed, but he's not winning either, because he's holding back right now quite a bit too, because All Might's there and he's literally in the way. It's not his fault, but All Might's in the way, so he has trouble going all out, until suddenly All Might gets sent far away, and Deku's about to get punched to oblivion for the form he had. When he was about to get hit by a combination of fire quirk, an amplifying quirk that basically augments the amount of damage that something can make, a destruction quirk, like basically whatever you can infuse something with that, and whatever it touch basically breaks down, a bit like Shigaraki's quirk but more controlled. And he was in his Kiloceleran form, not Kiloceleran form but Tetraman form, so it would have killed him. And the second it's about to make contact, the omnitrix basically makes a full check of the database of all 13,000 or 14 million aliens that are in it, to unlock one that would make it survive. So I think the name of the alien was, I don't even remember. What I wanted to give him wasn't one of the three strongest, because there's Alien X, there's Atomics, and there's Way Big. It's not one of those three. It was another one that I don't even remember the name. I'm going to go check it. If I don't find it, I'm gonna use one of the others. Probably if I can find it atomics. But yeah, I'm going to check. I'll be right back. Okay, found it. It's energy. I basically forgot the name in itself. But from I don't think it's canon, but it's highly hinted at that energy and atomics are both aliens called Prepotosians. The thing is that on their planet there was something that happened that was basically a nuclear war. An alien that was called Prepotos. It is really hard to say. Prepotosian A and Prepotosian B. The A class is the species of energy which stayed on top of the ground where everything was full of radiation, so they developed a body to just feed off of it. The bees instead went underground and only got a part of the nuclear energy. After a bit, they used it all, but their body had started needing it, so they started making that nuclear energy. So you basically have energy, which is a species that eats massive amount of energy because he needs it. And on the other side, you have atomics, which is the same species, but instead of needing to eat energy, it's basically an infinite buffet for the A kind. So yeah, Deku unlocks Prepotosian A, which is energy, and basically all of that energy that just got sent at him basically got absorbed and eaten. And after he transformed into that, he basically looked at All for One and said, "You just made a grave mistake." All for One says, "Why? I've been beating you since the start." Then he said, "The mistake was sending All Might away. He was the only reason I was holding back." Also, the camera's still on and it's literally hearing that right now. And then Deku switched back to Humongousaur and basically just grow to the maximum size. And basically two shots, All for One, like one shot he gets sent to the ground, and the second shot Deku jumped and basically used his full weight to crash into him. So he was out for the count. All Might lost every bit of his power and when he came back in the scene, Deku had took the camera, showing them his true form and saying, well, no, All Might was still transformed. All Might saying, "We won." Before then, they transforming and falling to the ground. I'm going to end it here. If you liked it, well, I really liked loving it, this one. Energy was basically an alien I wanted to give him for a while, in fact. for that moment, but no moment were actually good to give it to him. So I basically thought, okay, I'm just going to give him it to him during the freaking fight. So yeah, hope you liked it. This was not doing part 6 of what if Deku had the omnitrix. So yeah, Natsu out.